Hello again. Wow, my cat photobombs me. I promised you a second vid today. I'm gonna try to make it quick here. This has kind of been wreaking havoc on my phone. So, Ablelism Part 2. Now, I did lie to you a little bit. I did say this would be a two-parter. Unfortunately, the more I think on it, the more things that pop up that we should probably go over. So, it's probably going to be more like a major multi-parter. Alright, so I did a little bit of organizing of my thoughts yesterday. So, Part 2. Part 2 is ableism, cure culture, and the medical model. Like I promised, we're going to go ahead and get into the medical model a little bit. So, from the medical model perspective, cure culture assumes incompetence, emphasizes deficits, focuses on the negatives, and bases its views on the person with a disability. Let me rewind that. Bases its views on whether a person with a disability can do or achieve something based on their disability. Blah, blah, work on it. Basically, in a nutshell, what that is saying is the medical model basically determines what the person with the disability can and is not likely or cannot be able to do due to their diagnosis, which is mostly negative if you ever had to sit through one of these assessments. Alright, so all of that cure culture does come from the medical model, which is an excellent basis for diagnosis. However, it should not be used to determine what a person with a disability, given the appropriate proper accommodations, can or cannot achieve. And it is also a terrible guide to use when telling parents what they can expect in regards to their child's future. Now, most often when parents are told their child's diagnosis, they get read through a laundry list of things that their child is probably not going to be able to do, such as live on their own, or just a whole bunch of things. I had to deal with it in my assessment. It all obviously turned out to be completely inaccurate. So, there you go. Basically, medical model, when they use their DSM-5 or whatever diagnostic tools that they are using, when they use that as a means to go ahead and tell parents what they can and cannot expect out of their child in the future, it basically acts as a soul-crushing way. It basically tells parents, like, you know all those dreams you had for your kid when your wife or your significant other was pregnant? Forget those. None of those are going to happen. You see, that is ableist, and it is soul crushing to the parent, because what are we all taught? We are taught to trust the doctors, trust their diagnosis, trust their opinions. So, it all starts very early from the get-go. Diagnosis on. Parents are told multiple times, your child can't, your child can't, your child can't, your child can't. So, that goes into the parents, gets beaten to the parents. Eventually, the parents then, inadvertently, one might assume, start getting that into the kids. Now, I was lucky. Thankfully, my parents, my stepdad, my mom, my dad, never put me through anything like that, but I have seen it from other parents as an advocate that I have talked to over the years. So, it all starts there at the medical model. It all starts at the very beginning. Now, when parents are given this soul-crushing news and are giving the laundry list of things that their child is supposedly no longer going to be able to do, that's going to basically send them into the 5 stages of grief. The anger, the hopelessness. I mean, they go through all of these stages and they get to this point of hopelessness. And then what comes along? Pseudoscience. Pseudoscience got all the answers. See, all these parents got to do is give this kid this powder. It's going to fix his gut, because the problem is his gut, right? The gut causes the chemicals into the brain, and that's what causes the autism. This powder is going to fix all that. Or it's going to be this pill, right? It's going to be this special pill that's going to interact and fix the part of the brain that is supposedly broken in the child with autism, and they're going to get better. Or even more recently, I'm not going to get into the weed debate, alright? We're not going there. But I do know it has been peddled for a few years, especially since it's been legalized here in my state, as a ways to help people with autism normalize. There's been success stories, there's been not success stories, but at the end of the day, it's still another way for a parent to try and look for a cure so that their dreams for their kid that were crushed by the doctors can come true. Also, what comes out of the medical model, what causes the cure culture to happen, is almost this anger at this diagnosis. This diagnosis is taking away everything from my kid. It puts parents in complete desperation. Well, we gotta fix this. And if they are very science-based, my mom was, thankfully she was not on the cure culture radar at all, never has been. But these parents, they start getting angry and they start looking for someone to blame. So, who's to blame? How did this happen? Especially parents who have children with autism. They are the biggest. They want someone to blame, right? So then we have the anti-vaxxers movement that comes out of that, because this Dr. Andrew Wakefield, who, by the way, has been long ago disbarred, but neither here nor there, they're going to blame the vaccines for their child's disability, you know. They're going to blame really just about anything, really. And it just causes a whole lot of pseudoscience. The anger causes pseudoscience. It causes an absolute focus on finding a cure as opposed to actually developing programs that will allow the kid to go forward with their dreams. All money, all fundraising, all of it goes toward looking for a cure. We're talking millions of dollars every year. Millions of dollars where we have groups and states that their funds are completely depleted. These groups that just try to wing it every single year, trying to come up with programs to help people live more independent lives, are screw it. They're damn near bankrupt. And yet we give thousands of dollars for cure research. So, that's not just ableist. I hope you can see where I'm going with where cure culture